All right, friends, lucky me, I get to sit down with a close friend under unfortunate circumstances, in my opinion. Sam Briggs. It is day 3 of competition, 1 still to go, and we find you here cut from the competition. Everybody has kind of been like, the words I've heard the most are weird, and some people have said sad, but how has the year been strange for you? Because earlier in the hall you were like, what a weird year.
I'd say it's just very different. Like, I couldn't be more proud of like finishing 18th. Like, if at the end of Sunday I placed 18th, it'd be like hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think like from the Opens I was in 20th place, so an improvement on that, because that's the field of girls who we've been competing against.
Yes.
Obviously the sanctionals, wherever you go, it's always just a handful of those. So the Open's quite a good test in like the rest of the field. So to improve on 20th place and get 18th, I would have been like hell yeah. I'm just gutted that I haven't got to compete for the full weekend.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, I've just done 5 events. That's
whereas in past years, obviously
you get like the full 13.
Yeah, you can make up more ground.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about the structure too much because there's nothing we can change about it. It is what it is. So let's talk about your performance, like the things that were in your control, so to speak. If you could go back and change anything, is there something that you can identify, or?
I think there were a few places where there's a few things that could have like gone better for me. The event with the rope climbs, I got no rep and had to do 4 rope climbs, which cost me. It was in the 3rd round, so that you have to wait like a good 30-40 seconds before you can do another legless rope climb. And then the handstand walk, that's purely just like building up endurance of the elbow. Like, I've not got that back yet from surgery.
Yeah.
So the third walk, I was so close to the finish. I was just getting lower and lower down to the ground. I couldn't lock it out. But like a win for me, normally when that goes on a handstand walk, it's gone. I can't get the strength back. I walked back to the line and I got the handstand walk. Had I have made it on that first attempt, it could have been a difference that I was sitting in that top 10. So we don't know. So there's a few places. Could I have pushed it more on the run to take a 1st instead of a 4th? There's like little questions that are popping in my head. But at the time, that because of the change to the structure and it was about surviving, like I had to think on the run, I can push it, but I didn't want to kill myself because we still had 2 more events that day.
Yeah. So
it's weird, the tactics coming in with the cuts now.
Yeah. I just want to keep, you mentioned your elbow, but also people might not know that, we talked about it when you didn't do the age group online qualifier, was because your wrist was having some issues.
Yep.
Yeah. How did that affect you this weekend?
If at all? It's still an issue. We're getting it sorted out. I've got an MRI booked on Tuesday and see the surgeon on Thursday. But it's not like a huge, like it didn't stop me doing anything. I've got it's a little bit swelling in the hand now.
I got your story about it, but people who already think you're like a cyborg, tell them about your impenetrable exoskeleton when the doctor tried to drain that.
Yeah, so we have a cyst going on, and there's just some damage to the base of the thumb, but they tried to drain the cyst so that I would have full extension for the games. And unfortunately I have a cyst that has a really thick skin and doesn't want to be burst or drained. So I ended up having 5 needles and 2 drains put in there to attempt to drain it.
And still didn't even get it.
Ended up looking like the Nutty Professor. The hand was just like huge and still had the cyst.
You're the toughest person I know, bar none. I think you're even downplaying that, but that's gnarly. When I saw you earlier, and obviously time heals wounds, and we're still on the same day even, so maybe this will all change as well. But sentimentally, you seem like there was a little bit of anger as well. Is that fair to say?
it's not anger in that. I would just say it's just it's just gutting. We train all year. It's not cheap to come here. It's like all the sacrifices you make like for this big stage, for it to be cut short, is just upsetting. But I didn't make the top 10, and that's the rules. So I can't do anything about that now. Do I feel like I still have more to give? Yes. That's why I'm doing triathlon tomorrow.
Put that up, tell people what you mean by that, like literally. So tomorrow, these athletes, we don't even know what the workouts are quite yet, but
no.
these athletes will be doing something. There's 10 of them.
Yep.
And you've chosen to do what?
So where we were staying in the run-up to the games, we'd seen a sign for a half Ironman running on Sunday, and as soon as I didn't make the cut, I just said to my coach, I'm like, can I do the Ironman tomorrow? Because obviously then kind of my recovery starts. I'm going for like surgery on my wrist. It's like
I got all this energy.
I need to do something.
I've been training for this.
So and he said, yeah, go for it. So signed up tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm coming to watch. You mentioned something in the hallway when I saw you as you were walking out of the venue.
About the chairs?
About the
They wouldn't let me take my chair.
I was going to say that, but tell you, that's actually a funny story. So you've been cut.
So in the lockers, you have your name, and each locker had a chair. And in previous years, you've been allowed to take a chair, and they didn't let me take my chair.
Oh my!
But this is the same as what I was going to take, so I might just take this one.
God, dude, they'll never know. They'll never know until we publish this. So you also said something else about Masters versus this experience.
Oh yeah.
I know you're not making decisions
No.
now, but it was an interesting thought.
Just if this is the future of like how the games is going to run, like for like me personally, it might be worth me doing the sanctionals like I did, but coming to the games as a masters athlete and getting a full weekend of competition. Just initial thoughts. They get to compete all weekend, and I only got 2 days and 30 seconds.
Yeah, you're a competitor, and you want to be able to show that off. I love that one of your thoughts was what you're proud of in your placement, and it is fantastic. What do you think in terms of, so we're already talking about next year. I know this is a silly question about like where does it go next, but are you when you look at the horizon, like what are your goals, like what remains to be done in your kind of legacy as Sam Briggs in this sport?
For me, like I love training and competing, so I'm gonna keep on doing what I do until I don't enjoy it anymore.
Yeah. There's no accolades. There's no certain thing. There's no.
No.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing it, and I think it was really cool. I was talking to Haley Adams, and she's 19 years younger than me.
Wow.
It's just
you don't think about that until you say it out loud like that.
So it just made it really cool that I was out there competing with somebody who was 19 years younger than me.
Yes.
And I don't know, it's pretty special. It's special to be still like out there and being able to do it.
Amen. And inspiring people all over the place. Seeing positive commentary and people giving you praises, and in that sense, aside from just your own enjoyment from it, I don't know, is there sort of like we talk about this often with you, is there like a deeper purpose? Is there some sort of, do you take any kind of pleasure out of that, out of people that look up to you, that you inspire, or what really keeps you going? Is it just a love of the game? You train your butt off.
Yeah.
All the time. You work through injury.
But then it's just cool, like just to see like what your body can do. I know like I get injured and like coming back, but the human body is an incredible thing. Like people don't get what we do, and that's why we get all the comments that steroids, this and this, because they don't see like the amount of work that we put in, and then this is just like a fraction of it.
Yes.
being able to showcase it, and like just being able to like get my body to the level to be here. It's like, yeah.
Do you think, I'm going back to competition, do you think that you would take equal enjoyment out of traveling and doing sanctionals, and the games wouldn't even be part of the competition season for you, or is this always going to be kind of will this always hold like a special place in your competition season?
The games that has always held a special place. Like my first games in 2010, that was like my rookie year. I was still like at the time trying to make it as a competitive triathlete, and that first night under the lights in the tennis stadium, that was when I decided I want to be a CrossFit athlete.
Mm-hmm.
This is fantastic, and the games made that. It wasn't the experience at regionals. It wasn't anything else. It was the games that made that decision. So it will always have a special place in my heart. The type of athlete that I am, other competitions are potentially going to be better for me to showcase. Like Dubai having like 13 events. So when I went to Australia, that had I think like 13 events. It's got a mixture of the endurance with everything else, and if it is going to be drastic cuts like this, then an athlete like me, I'm maybe better at some of the sanctional events to showcase my fitness.
Sure. Okay, let's come back to now, and we'll talk, because you're going to have surgery when?
Next week. I'm going straight in.
You're going straight in?
The Opens are in October.
So okay, great. So this is where we're going. So
yeah.
You think you'll be ready to rock for the Open?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Okay. And then can we expect that you'll pursue, it wasn't even a pursuit this year, but it just happened, that you'll kind of go for what we even call it, the quadfecta? Top 20 in the Open, national champion, age group online qualifier, and sanctional champion?
And it was the
team champion too?
Teams. I don't know. It was just like a fortunate like sequence of events. Like the team was a last minute thing and everything like that. So it was just everything just kind of like fell into place well this season.
Yeah.
And I loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
Like this season, even today, like obviously I was devastated this morning after the sprint. But actually, I was more devastated when I read this morning that the cuts were after the sprint. I am not known for my sprinting, so I was already devastated then. But I couldn't have wished for a better season. Last year I had to have the elbow surgery before regional, so even though I was here as a master, I wanted to be out on that big stage.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, like winning the first sanctional event, which nobody saw coming, even I didn't see coming.
Really?
It was like the perfect start to the season, and I made it to the games. It was like Australia on the bounce of Dubai, another fantastic competition, and then sharing that experience with the JST team in Reykjavik like brought a whole new dimension to it for me.
Yes.
Which was really cool. And hey, 18th fittest in the world at 37.
Nothing to spit on. I guess women that are almost 20 years younger than you.
Yeah, so I can dig that.
Yeah, you should be very, very proud. It was an amazing season, and glad to hear that you'll be back so quick. I'll leave you with this, I suppose. As such a veteran, not just in the CrossFit Games, but in the community, and someone who's got a great head on their shoulders and people look up to. If we go back to the beginning of the conversation, and I said everybody's saying it's weird and everybody's saying it's different. If you're trying to kind of, well, maybe it's not calm them down. I don't want to lead you in any direction. What do you kind of say to people that are really discombobulated by the changes to the season?
Nobody likes change, but they get used to it. Mm-hmm. If this is the way that the CrossFit Games is going to be, then people's approach and people's training are going to have to change. And there's been changes throughout the years, and people at first have always been, oh, it's for the worst, they shouldn't do that, and in the end you get used to it and people still enjoy watching the CrossFit Games.
Yep.
Even though there's been these drastic cuts, the stadium was still full. Like watching Tia stand up that last clean, I mean, like, the sport is still phenomenal, and there's 10 amazing women out there on the floor who deserve everybody to fill that coliseum and cheer them on, because they have earned that spot.
Yeah.
And just because I'm not there with them shouldn't take away from that. So they've earned that spot, and bring on tomorrow for them. It'll be cool to watch them after I finish my triathlon with a beer.
I hope I get to have it with you.
Okay, cool.
Thank you for coming in.
No problem.